Just last year, it seemed that there was unstoppable momentum toward the end of marijuana prohibition with the most progressive legislation in the country.
So, what happened? Marijuana is a substance much less dangerous than alcohol or tobacco, but has been criminalized since 1937 through something called the Marijuana Tax Act. For many decades following that, there was a barrage of anti-marijuana propaganda.
Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
Flooding the airwaves, comparing the use of marijuana to a hit-and-run accident, manslaughter, suicide, attempted rape, hallucinations, and a total descent into madness due to marijuana addiction.
But things have changed quite dramatically since then, and today marijuana has been rebranded to boast its medicinal and recreational uses, although the recreational use is really for adults.
In fact, it's pretty popular in New Jersey, and it has always been. Just walk around pretty much anywhere in Hudson County to catch an occasional drift of burning herbs.
In 2017, when Democratic Governor Phil Murphy was elected in New Jersey once again became the Democratic trifecta, meaning the Democrats now controlled every part of the state government. That includes the governor's office, both legislative chambers, those being the Senate and General Assembly, which is like our own mini Congress.
And as of recent history, it's usually been the Democrats who've been pushing for legalization, citing social justice and economic benefits. And, well, New Jersey has a Democratic stronghold, so theoretically, we should have everything we need to forge a path to legalization, right?
Exactly, Steph. In fact, according to a Monmouth University poll, over 60% of New Jersey residents favor legalization.
So here's what happened, guys. Senate President Stephen Sweeney, a South Jersey Democratic boss, said his goal was to get marijuana legalization legislation passed within 100 days of Murphy's term.
It's been like 825 days and counting.
So 2018 rolls along, 2019 flies by, and the state legislation could not get their bill passed.
Annoying. What happened? Why can't we get this popular bill passed? We voted them in, didn't we? Didn't you guys vote them too? Huh?
Well, it turns out that state legislature is caught up on the politics of individual parts of the bill. Some of the controversial amendments, right? One being that it would wipe away the criminal convictions, a process called expungement, for anyone that formerly was convicted of possessing up to 5 pounds of pot. That's a lot, way more than what other states are allowed. So passing this bill means erasing the records of hundreds of thousands of low-level drug offenders. Because approximately 32,000 are arrested for possession every year.
There are a lot of people out there who just don't understand that our marijuana policies have disproportionately affected people of color.
I've heard of this too, but I'd like to know, how so?
Well, did you know that despite using it at the same amount, people of color are up to 3 times more likely than a white person to be arrested? Marijuana possession arrests constitute 3 out of every 5 drug arrests in New Jersey. Arrests are so expensive to taxpayers too, costing the state over $127 million. That's a lot of money for arresting a bunch of Black and Latino people, right?
Eesh. Well, on a positive note, there's another part of the bill which would ensure that a significant percentage of legal marijuana businesses would be minority-owned businesses. The legislation also calls for a 12% tax on retail cannabis sales, and Phil Murphy pushed it to 25%, believing that 12% was too low.
Greedy.
So, on May 15th last year, Sweeney said there were not enough votes and that he expected the legislature to pass a state constitutional amendment instead. That means putting the issue in front of you guys, the voters, as a ballot measure.
So you guys might be catching on here as to why it's so important to vote in all of these elections. I hope, right?
The thing is, Roger, marijuana reform is not something most Americans feel very passionate about. New Jerseyans are still struggling with everyday hardships like lack of access to affordable health care, jobs, and the ever-rising cost of living.
Jersey, taxes are also super high, so more people are concerned with lowering taxes than they are taking a chance on legalizing pot, especially with all these preconceived ideas about it, whether they're based on facts or emotions.
So, in the end, where are we with this?
Well, as we said earlier, it's now on us to legalize it. The question will be on the ballot this year on November 3rd, and if it's passed, it adds an amendment to the state constitution legalizing the recreational use of cannabis for adults 21 and older, and legalizes the cultivation, processing, and retail sale. Bonus, that's also the day you get to decide who the next president is.
Democracy! So wait, Roger, there's a lot of towns in Hudson County who already put some kind of ban in place in an effort to prevent businesses from growing or selling in their town limits.
No way.
Yep. Those towns are Secaucus, Union City, and Weehawken. On a side note, go North Bergen for not being on this list. That's where we live.
So Steph, all this tells me is that, wow, democracy is super important.
Yes.
We gotta vote. So don't forget to register to vote because every election is important. But when you know what issues are at stake, your one vote might be the one to make a difference.
Viewers, don't forget to subscribe and to follow us. Keep up with the latest commentary on Hudson County news and politics. And until next time, this is
Chat North Hudson!
In fact, it's pretty popular in New Jersey, and it always has been. Just look around.